Welcome to Bowling Showcase, the only show to bring you everything bowling in the bowling capital of the world, Metro Detroit. I'm your host, Mark Martin. Now we hope that you and your friends and family have been continuing to stay safe and healthy during these very unprecedented times. Now a lot of you at home, you're kind of wondering, how long is all this going to last? And the honest answer is, we just don't know. But rest assured, MDUSBC and your local bowling center are doing everything we can to make your bowling experience safe and enjoyable when we're all allowed to come back in and enjoy the sport we love. Remember, Metro Detroit is the bowling capital of the world, and we plan to keep it that way. And as you can see around me, we're here at our host center, Thunderbolt Lanes. It's quiet now. We're the only ones in here, and the lanes are silent. We'd like to thank Tom Strobel and Vicki Ingham for continuing to support Bowling Showcase this year. We're all looking forward to the day when the lanes are full and the sounds of pins flying punctuate the air. So let's get on with the show. And one final note on COVID-19. As you're watching today's action, be aware that all of the tournaments on today's show were all completed before our current state of affairs. In fact, our first story takes place earlier in the day that our governor announced the current shutdown. So let's get into the fun and excitement of the Michigan State USBC Youth Masters from Royal Scott Lanes in Lansing, now on Bowling Showcase. The Michigan State USBC Youth Masters was held at Royal Scott Lanes in Lansing on the weekend of November 14th. Michigan's best youth bowlers competed under COVID-19 safe conditions throughout the tournament, with plastic sheeting separating lanes and all bowlers required to wear a mask if not on the lanes. After 8 games of qualifying on Saturday, Sunday's girls match started with a 2-frame roll-off between Carly Van Duenen of New Era and Melanie Straub of Chesterfield to determine first and second place qualifying positions, after tying for the first spot with 15:49. Van Duenen won the roll-off and went into match play as the top qualifier. There was also a 2-game roll-off on the boys' side to determine the 15th and 16th qualifying position. Michael Wilshire of Middleville won the higher seed when he defeated Zachary Sisk of Brownstown in the 2-frame match. After the roll-offs, the boys and girls took to the lanes for a grueling day of 2-game double elimination match play. Top girls qualifier Carly Van Duenen continued her strong bowling on these lanes by winning her first match against Catherine MacArthur of Hudson, 398 to 343. She then faced off against Allison Sand of Chesterfield, beating her 420 to 330 and earning a bye in the next round. After sitting out a round, Van Duenen cooled off a little bit and fought a very tight battle against Rebecca Music of Grand Blanc. Music beat Van Duenen in the first game 190 to 157, but Van Duenen fought back in the second game to squeak out a match victory by 4 pins, 374 to 370. This win secured Carly Van Duenen's spot in the final championship match later in the day. Melanie Straub, who lost the roll-off for top qualifier against Van Duenen at the start of the day, continued on to match play with poise and consistency. She won her first match against Abigail Mather of Charlotte, 395 to 381, but then got knocked into the losers bracket when she was defeated in her next match by Rebecca Music, 421 to 334. In the losers bracket, she never let her confidence waver and got back to her winning ways by defeating Adriana Good of Charlotte, 405 to 373. Her next match was the toughest of the day so far when Straub faced off against Anna Maxwell of Westland. Both girls bowled well, and Maxwell jumped out to a 10-pin lead after the first game. The second game was even more a game of attrition as both girls fought back and forth. Anna Maxwell bowled strong, but Melanie Straub fought back and eventually won the nail-biting match by 1 pin, 343 to 342. Straub then avenged her earlier loss to Music by beating her 409 to 364 and advancing out of the losers bracket into the championship match. Now the stage was set. Carly Van Duinen and Melanie Straub, the two girls who started the day in a roll-off to determine who would be top qualifier, now facing off against each other for the championship. As the girls hit the lanes, the big prize was in their sights. It was clear that although good friends, neither girl was going to make it easy for the other. Van Duinen bowled great, but Straub bowled just a little better. Taking the reins, Straub never looked back and beat Van Duinen in the first two-game match, 396 to 355. Going into the final and decisive match, Straub never looked back and continued bowling strong. In the end of the final game, Van Duinen seemed to be running out of steam and started losing ground on her opponent. Straub continued bowling strong all the way through, and at the end of the day, Melanie Straub won the Michigan State USBC Girls Youth Masters title with a 387 to 349 victory over Carly Van Duinen.
I knew I was just to stay calm, and if I just filled frames and made all my spares, it just kept me calm and kind of just did that, and it worked out. and then I got to the finals, and I was versing my friend, so I again was pretty calm, and we were just having fun, and whoever won at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. We were just friends, so feels really good. The past few tournaments I've missed cuts and kind of just, it's good, feels good to win finally.
Now on the boys' side, Ian Kane of Livonia, he was the top qualifier with 1667. Going into match play, he was the one to beat. In the first game of his first match, he easily beat Michael Wilshire 243 to 181. Now with nothing to lose in the second game, Wilshire threw caution to the wind and quickly erased the previous 62 pins deficit. Using all the skill and talent he could muster, he rolled a 266 to 194 game win and stole the match from Kane with a 10-pin victory, 447 to 437. Brandon Levitt of Novi entered match play in the sixth qualifying position. He first beat Aidan Sulzener of Caledonia 391 to 322. Then Kyle Pranger of Muskegon 364 to 360 to earn a bye in the next round. In his next match, Levitt beat Isaac Gergen of Midland 381 to 375. He then beat Braden Hoffmeister of Essexville in a close pin-for-pin match, 329 to 325, to earn his spot in the final championship match. David Schauberg of Holt started match play in the fifth qualifying spot. He easily won his first match, 398 to 262, over Noel Jackson of Livonia. In his next match, Schauberg was knocked into the losers bracket when he lost by one pin to Connor Rogas of Macomb, 399 to 398. Once in the losers bracket, Schauberg used his two-handed technique as well as playing over to the right more than any other bowler of the day to his advantage. He rattled off wins over Aidan Sulzener, 378 to 328. Then Michael Wilshire, 391 to 358. He then rattled off a pair of incredible high-scoring matches, first beating Isaac Gergen, 485 to 369, and Hunter Fletcher of Grand Blanc, 448 to 375. In the final match of the losers bracket, Schauberg cooled off a little, but still was victorious over Braden Hoffmeister, 393 to 362, setting himself up for the championship match with Brandon Levitt. The final match was a grinding battle between the two bowlers. David Schauberg put up a gallant effort, but Brandon Levitt was a little more consistent with his game. In the final frames, when he needed it most, Brandon Levitt threw the balls he needed and claimed the Michigan State USBC Boys Youth Masters title with a 342 to 307 victory over David Schauberg.
Yeah, I've really been trying to get a few wins out here. I've been really close at the MJMAs, and I was coming into this really wanting to win, and I really got my game on towards the end, and I really started packing the strikes on and got the heat on David. It was pretty tight up until like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th frame of the last game. I really started to pile them on, and I felt really good towards the end.
What a great day of bowling. Congratulations to Melanie Straub and Brandon Levitt on their victories. And a big shout out to all of this year's competitors and parents who are making the best out of this strange season. Now let's see a special presentation from one of the leading bowling ball manufacturers in the world, based right here in Michigan. Here's Mike Magdalene from Motiv to introduce you to some new equipment.
Thanks so much, Mark. Well, we're here today at Thunderbolt Lanes, and we are in the arena, and I want to just give you a little information about the Motiv brand and break down our latest 2 new releases. You may not know this, but Motiv bowling balls are made 100% in the state of Michigan. So if you like to support local businesses, head to your local pro shop and ask what ball may be best suited for you. Speaking of made in Michigan, we've also recently added on PBA World Champion Tom Smallwood to our tour staff. It's great to have a Michigan man supporting Michigan products. Now, if you're like I am and you're not sure about what you want to do as far as purchasing your next product and you want to do a little bit of research, don't hesitate to go to motivbowling.com and check out our ball guide. The ball guide will show you which balls are better for heavy oil, maybe some light oil, balls that are angular, and balls that are smoother. You can even click on the individual balls to give you specifications on each individual ball and some recommendations on how the ball may best suit you. Now let's break down the 2 new latest releases from Motiv. First, we have the new Forge Flare, which is the strongest symmetrical bowling ball Motiv has released to date. We also have the Fatal Venom, which is a cleaner, more angular piece that's going to be used maybe in a little bit of transition. We're going to take both of these balls to the lanes and show you a shot with each one and how they compare. We're here out on the lanes in the famous arena at Thunderbolt, and I'm going to show you a shot with the new Fatal Venom. You just got a glimpse of the new Fatal Venom. Now we're going to show you a shot with the new Forge Flare. Thanks for joining me today, and please be sure to visit motivbowling.com and check out all our social media platforms. Get motivated.
Thanks, Mike and Motiv, for that segment, and thanks for being a sponsor of Bowling Showcase. Time to pay some bills. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages on Bowling Showcase. Metro Detroit USBC, your source for everything bowling in the bowling capital of the world. We support USBC certified league and tournament competition. We provide 11 tournaments for all members of our association, including men, women, youth, seniors, scratch, and handicap competition. The top reasons for belonging to the Metro Detroit USBC are having your average recognized, bonding of league funds, rules of the game, assistance in resolving league issues, equipment standards of the game, charities, and awards. Visit us at MDUSBC.com.
The hug pickup, the home run swing, the drum major high step, the genuine joy, the unforgettable party, the food, the friends, the original social network. No matter who you are, it's always a great time. Grab your family, find a friend, and go bowling.
Welcome back. Now it's time to take a look at the MDUSBC Super Senior Masters Tournament right now on Bowling Showcase. Woodhaven Bowlorama in Woodhaven was the setting for this season's Super Senior Masters held on October 31st and November 1st. Many of Metro Detroit's top bowlers over the age of 60 competed in this 2-day event. Heading into match play, Mike McCleskey of Southfield was the top qualifier with a 5-game total of 1195 and a high game of 289. In match play, he defeated Nick Sapedi of Clinton Township 257 to 160, but was knocked into the losers bracket after losing his next match to defending champion Joe Krajewski of Clinton Township 278 to 227. Once in the losers bracket, McCleskey then beat Sapedi for the second time, 223 to 171. Ed Halt of St. Clair Shores, 185 to 178. And then Larry Walker of Garden City, 258 to 239 to move into the championship match. Krajewski was seeded 5th by tournament rule with 1056. He remained in the winner's bracket with victories over Ralph Meisner of Waterford, 239 to 201, Mike Luceni of Warren, 244 to 196, Mike McCleskey, 278 to 227, and last year's runner-up, Larry Walker, 244 to 225. He then had to wait for McCleskey to emerge from the loser's bracket. The final match was now set. Top qualifier McCleskey squaring off against defending champion Krajewski. Both men played the lanes well in the final game, and the game was a close one. Now in the 10th frame, McCleskey left a solid 8-pin, and Krajewski took advantage, sealing the match with a 247 to 220 victory, earning him back-to-back championship titles.
My reaction was, what a bad break. He threw the ball so great. I mean, I was prepared for him to double, and I was concentrating on me throwing the first strike, because even if he struck out, I needed the first strike to beat him. And that was my mindset. I was going to have to throw the first strike no matter what, and when he left that, it took some pressure off, but I was counting on him throwing the double because he was bowling great all weekend. So,
Vern Flowers of West Bloomfield won the special competition for non-qualifiers over the age of 70 with a 232 to 164 win over John Clinton of Allen Park.
Great. It feels great to win anything. Yeah, well, we're kind of buddies. We practice together sometimes, so it was, relaxing. It wasn't real tense between us,
Congratulations to Joe Krajewski on his impressive win. Back-to-back champion? Sounds pretty good, Joe. Now maybe you at home would like to take part in one of our tournaments and see how you stack up. Here's some upcoming events that you may want to join in. The MDUSBC Women's and Men's Series returns January 10th at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park. This is the third of 5 scratch events designed for women and men bowlers to hone their skills. Those bowling in all 5 events and the top 15 in the points list get invited to the RIP 10 Invitational, which concludes the season in May. The top 15 players in the points list earn additional prize money. Robin Orlikowski was last year's Women's Cup champion, and Trey Raines won the Men's Cup. Here's your chance to see how you stack up. The MDUSBC Masters will take place on the weekend of January 16th and 17th at Westland Bowl in Westland. Ryan Van Hecke is the defending champion in this premier event. The cost is $150 with a first prize of $2,500 based on 120 entries. Bring your A game to Westland and compete against the best MDUSBC has to offer. The annual Women's and Open Championship Tournament, commonly referred to as the City Tournament, kicks off February 13th at Super Bowl in Canton. The action, it continues through March 21st. This low-cost handicap and scratch tournament is popular and open to all MDUSBC members. Not only is it fun, it's competitive, and you could win money and a title. What more can you ask for? Don't miss out on this favorite tournament. Call the MDUSBC office at 248-443-2695, extension 105 for more information on our tournaments or visit us at MDUSBC.com. Time for another commercial break. We'll be back with our first women's and men's series event of the season after these commercials next on Bowling Showcase. The Michigan State USBC provides tournament competition and recognition for men, women, and youth bowlers in Michigan. The championship events for the season include the Open Championship starting in January at Bolero Bowl and M66 Bowl in Battle Creek. The Women's Championship starting in February at Monitor Lanes and Alert Lanes in Bay City. The Youth Championship starting in March at Westland Bowl. Visit MichiganStateUSBC.com. Welcome back. Now let's check in on our first women's and men's series event for the season, now on Bowling Showcase. The first men's and women's series event of the season was held at Mayflower Lanes in Redford. This is the first of 5 events for the year where participants earn cup points. Now at the end of the season, a cup champion will be crowned. The men's and women's series, while they're separate events, they both take place at the same time in the same place. On the men's side, Mike McCleskey of Southfield was the top qualifier in the field of 43 with a 943. Steve Crivey of Sterling Heights qualified 7th with 833 on games of 182, 265, 178, and 208. In match play, he beat Dennis Johnson of Wyoming 276 to 232. Steve Kenyon of Grosse Ile 205 to 196. And Ryan Land of Royal Oak 237 to 176 to advance to the championship match. Keith Caldwell of Detroit qualified 8th with 828. In match play, he defeated Mark Minema of Zeeland 226 to 222. Top qualifier McCleskey 205 to 202. And Lonnie Jones of Ann Arbor 233 to 226 on his way to the finals. In the final match, Crivey continued his winning day of bowling and won the first men's series event of the season with a 244 to 205 triumph over Caldwell. So your last 2 matches, 237, 176 over Ryan Land, 244 to 205 over Keith Caldwell. Those look like cakewalks.
They weren't cakewalks. It was just you had to stay with it and just keep moving where the shot was going and just had to keep the speed up the rest of the day. That's how to get through today was just a matter of keeping the speed up and not getting too soft with it.
On the women's side, it was Maddie Klein of Whitmore Lake who was the top qualifier with 944 on games of 259, 215, 205, and 265. Unfortunately, she lost her first match to Casey Eaton of Wyoming 225 to 150 and was knocked out of the tournament. Lisa Lambert of Allen Park qualified 6th with 858. In match play, she defeated Stacy Timmer of Wayland 195 to 183 and last year's champion Sherry Verisbay of Newport 259 to 237 on her way to the finals. Dasha Kovalova, she qualified 5th in the field of 37 with a 4-game total of 893. In match play, she beat Jenna Pollock of Fraser 258 to 194. Then Casey Eaton 254 to 207 to advance to the finals. The final match between Lambert and Kovalova was a competitive one, each of them playing the lanes very well. In the end, Kovalova took the match and won her first women's series event with a thrilling 225 to 214 victory over Lambert. Okay, so you qualified 5th, and then you got into match play, and you beat Jenna Pollock 258 to 194. What kind of changes did you make in that match that would create such a nice score?
I moved more left. That allowed me to both take advantage of hold if I miss in and hook if I miss outside. However, again, by the end of that match, the hook starts to overcome the hold, so if I missed a little bit right, it would just spark right off the break point. So that's what I did. Also, I stayed with my biggest ball, Zenith, because it seemed to be the only one that carried today, apparently.
Okay, and then in the championship match, you came back to the same pair that you shot 258 on.
Yep.
Did you feel very confident in that?
Nope. Because I noticed that when I finished the game, it already started burning up. So when I came back there, I was like, all right, it's gonna hook even more. So I spent my first 5 frames just trying to switch through 10,000 bowling balls to see maybe I can strike. And then I kind of decided just to trust the bowling ball I used the entire time and just play the hold and play the shim. Just let the ball float through the oil, and miraculously it worked.
So you needed a double in the 10th. That first one, it looked like you got it a little bit wide, and that 2-pin was a little bit slow going down.
Yep, but it came down, so that matters.
It did, but then you packed the last 2.
Yeah, because I knew the adjustment I had to make, because I still wasn't really confident about that lane, but once I saw what happened with the 2-pin, I was like, okay, I can just move right. And I did, and it worked out.
Congratulations to Dasha Kovalova and Steve Krivy on their impressive wins. Well, that's the end of this episode. Remember, in the following weeks, we'll be bringing you classic Bowling Showcase Challenge episodes from all 5 previous seasons. Look for us every Saturday at 10 a.m. on WADL Detroit with Bowling Showcase. You know what? If you happen to miss an episode, you can catch it on our Bowling Showcase channel of youtube.com. And you can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or email us at bowlingshowcase@gmail.com. We're interested in your feedback. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, be diligent, and we'll see you next time on Bowling Showcase.